everybody online. Hi, everyone in person. Great to be here. As always, it's Friday. Not always, but every Friday, it's cause for some celebration. We made it, another Friday. I'll probably get too excited about that. With that, let's start in a nice, comfortable shape. So you might come on your back. We're going to start a little bit with stretching out the back of the body, hamstrings. So if you're coming onto your back, you might want to put your feet on the floor carpet area. We're going to push and pull your feet on the ground. So if you have, if you're at home and you're on a sticky surface, you might grab a pair of socks. If you're in the room here, if you're on your sticky mat, it might be too sticky and you might bunch up on your mat. So you just want to put your butt closer to the edge of the mat, but I'll describe that in a little bit. Let's come on our backs. And then as you settle, let's start. If you're on your back, let's let your knees bend to just give your back a little more support, your low back, and especially your mid back. If you're sitting, giving yourself a moment to feel your two sit bones anchor down. And then all of us pausing for a moment to remind ourselves that we have complete and total agency over our practices. So if something doesn't feel comfortable, supportive, or safe, you can always back out of it. You can always come back to this shape or another supportive shape. Catch your breath and take a break. I'm going to spend just a little bit of time being quiet. Slowly making the transition as you come into your body with a little more awareness. Allowing your body to find stillness. As we come inward, opening with kindness and curiosity, taking a few breaths. Taking a moment to feel a nice, light, easy breath. Taking only the amount of air you need. Letting your eyes and your face, the roof of your mouth, your throat, and your chest, so more upper body, relax. You might feel a little less movement in the collarbones and the armpits as you're breathing. And then drawing awareness into your lower ribs, front side of the lower ribs, the back side of the lower ribs, and noticing your breath. Take about 5 breaths here. Paying attention, what do you notice in those lower ribs as you take an inhale? What do you notice in your lower front and back ribs when you exhale? And coming back to your breath, to your body. If you'd like, scoot your bum down towards the edge of your mat. If you're sitting in a chair, come towards the edge of your chair. Okay, so you can either sit in a chair, you could try this sitting on the floor if you want, your legs out in front of you, or on your back. You might want to scoot your bum towards the edge of your chair because we're going to start to drag our feet, okay, or push and pull our feet. All right. So you're in your constructive rest pose or sitting, trying not to move your hips. So you might bring your hands to your hips. You're going to push your right foot nice and heavy down and try and keep the weight of your foot the same as you push out. And you push down and pull back. I'm going to do 5 on each side. So you're pushing the weight of your leg all the way through your right heel and pulling back. Bring your attention to the back of the leg. So hamstrings, top of the leg, down through the back of the knee into the calf, maybe even into the foot itself. Now you might remind yourself, you don't have to push down with everything you've got. You could be curious about your level of push or level of intensity. The same with the bend and straighten. Right? What would it feel like if you had to push 10 pounds away and pull 10 pounds back versus what would it feel like if you had to push 50 pounds away and pull 50 pounds back? So be a little curious. And then pull your foot back one more time. And then bring your right knee right up over your right hip and give yourself 3 hamstring stretches, just bending and straightening that right leg. Then after 3 hamstring stretches, bring your foot all the way back to the floor, re-find your baseline, constructive rest or sitting upright in your chair or on the floor. Come back to your lower back rib cage and take a breath. And find your left leg, push down and push away and pull in a few times. Challenge yourself to try and keep the pushing and pulling weight the same the whole way out and the whole way in. So there's strength as you push all the way towards a straighter leg, and there's strength as you bend it. And a little bit like the other side, what would it feel like if you pushed 10 pounds and pulled 10 pounds versus 50 pounds? And then bring that left knee back to bend and then do 3 hamstring stretches when you're ready. So if you're in a chair, you're just going to tip over. If you're on your back, you bend and straighten at your knee. Wowzer, my hamstrings are tight today. Anyone else? And let your left foot come back down and just rest. Give yourself 2 or 3 breaths. All right, if you are sitting in a chair, bring your elbows to your knees and do a couple rounds of cat-cow. If you are on the floor with me, find your belly button and push your belly button down into the floor, push into your heels and slowly roll your pelvis low back, mid back up to a bridge. And then slowly roll back down. Just 2 more of these. So you keep doing cat-cow or you're rolling up into 2 more slow, low bridges. After this bridge, come back to constructive rest and reconnect body to breath. You're going to take a fork in the road. If you would like, push both legs forward away from you. Pull your heels back, root into your heels, and then roll up to bridge. Roll down out of bridge and push your legs away. Keep going like that. I'm going to sit up and just do a demo in case someone's in a chair at home. So if you're sitting in a chair at home, you sit, you bring your elbows towards your knees, find that baby cobra cow pose. Okay, and you're sitting in your chair, and then you can take one leg and push it away on the floor and pull it back. Okay, so you're going to try and keep a little bit of, say, sitting or seated cow, and then push your legs away and pull them in. Ooh, 2 more on each leg if you're sitting. Maybe 1 more on your back if you're doing bridge. And then when you coast back to constructive rest on your back, bend your knees, take both feet up to the ceiling, give yourself a double leg hamstring stretch, heavy back hips, coast back to stillness in your chair, just sit upright. And we'll take 3 breaths, either in a hamstring stretch or sitting. Great, grab behind your legs and roll all the way on up to sitting. And bring your legs out in front of you. Okay, so hands, arms come down in line with your hips. If you're in your chair, come towards the edge of your chair. You're going to push your legs away. Pull your legs back in. Okay, you could do double legs. You might do singles. Careful on the floor. I feel like I might be getting carpet burns on my heels. All right, little more challenging. Get your arms out of it and stabilize a little more from your core, less from your arms. And then you can go a little bit faster. You can go in and out a little bit faster. We'll just do it about 5 more seconds. All right, bring your heels way in and bring your arms down now. Bring your arms back behind you. You might stay right here, okay? Legs are in parallel, okay? So not feet together, bring your legs out, parallel. You're gonna push into your arms, push your arms down and try and get your butt up off the floor. Now take your butt up, find that pubic bone, reverse table, go up and come back down nice and slow. Push your legs away, pull your legs in. Push down, reverse table. You might just lift your butt a millimeter. You might not even lift up, just getting that arm pushed down. Slowly lower 1 more time. Push your legs away. Pull them in, reverse table. Lower down. Sit upright, grab your shins. If you're in a chair, lean forward. Give yourself a little seated cat. Pull that navel back, round that low back, tuck your chin, look down, and take 2 or 3 breaths across and through your back. Full exhale, let the air go. And then sit up and just lift your spine and look up and give yourself 3 breaths. You can put your hands back on the floor if you want to feel that stability of the ground. Soften the shoulders, your throat, your face, your eyes, back to breathing. And then we got to figure out how to come on up to standing. So figure it out. Come on up. All right. So if you're in the room, you can face me or you can turn to face outside. It's pretty darn nice looking outside. Hands come towards your hip creases. We're just going to warm up the hips a little more. So parallel legs, soft bend in your knees, push those hip creases back. Come on over, hip hinge, and come on up. 2 more. Great. Now take your hands flat on your legs, hinge, and go a little bit lower with your shoulders, feeling where your low back rounds. You might go all the way down and come all the way on up. Bend your knees as much as you need. Do 2 more slowly. You're just going to gather a little information. Like, how's this feel through your hamstrings and your glutes? How's this feel for you in your low back? Take some notes. Right? If it hurts in your low back, you might bend your knees more. You might not fold over as far. It's good to define your range of motion. Realize we're all really different. You're going to honor your movement today. All right, then we come on up. We're going to sweep your arms out and up. Same idea. Push those hip creases back. Fold over. Maybe you touch your thighs, shins, the floor. You come right back up. Go right back over 2 more times. You never have to stay with the group. So if something feels pretty good, something feels a little off, there's curiosity, inquiry somewhere, hang out, pause. Pause to ask yourself some questions as you go down and come on up. Next time you come on up, do a big, nice, good morning stretch, like you're just getting up out of bed and you're going to do that big stretch up. And then lift your heels, soften your knees, and take a few breaths, balance. It's okay to wobble. Heels pull back to come down, arms come down, forward fold. You can always use a chair or a table if you're at home. Step your feet back. Let your head hang. Now, look back at your shins. Let your shins come toward the floor. That means a big, deep bend. Get your shins as close to the floor as you comfortably can without touching. And then take your legs back into downward facing dog. 2 more. Take your shins down, bend, bend, bend. Challenge those quads. Feel this in the top of the leg and push back 1 more time. Go at your own pace. This time you're going to take your knees all the way down or walk your feet up to your hands. If you're using a chair, build your tabletop. Keep your tabletop a little differently today. Come up on your fingertips. You're going to build little table tents with your fingers. Okay, now imagine you're pulling the palm of your hand up through your hand, right? Pull, like scoop, grip, pull your mat together. Okay, you want really strong grip here. Okay, this is grip. Then you're going to take your right leg straight back, either on the floor or lift it up a little bit. Keep your tabletop. 3 bends, hamstring curl. Remember your corset cummerbund, your upper back. Upper back might feel it's like in plank. Then bring your right knee back to the floor. Take your left leg straight back. Can either lift up or stay on the floor, hamstring curl. Left knee comes back down. Flatten out your hands. Walk your knees back a couple inches. Maybe like 12. Let your elbows come down. And then straighten your arms. So upper back work. You're going to touch those forearms towards the floor. Come back up. Can you feel this through your upper back, under your shoulder blades, around in your armpit. So tricep serratus work. Great. Next time your arms are straightish, pause. Curl your toes. Stay right here. Or if you want more challenge, just hover those knees off the floor like a bear, and then push your hips up and back. Step your feet around as you need. Redefine, come back, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, push your hip creases way, way, way back. One more time, take your knees really slowly to the floor. Come back to your table. Come up on your fingertips. Grip your mat, pull your palm up. Right leg comes straight back. All right, 3 hamstring curls. On your third one, keep your curl. Really try to get your right heel to your butt cheek. Then you're going to take your right leg and just rotate it and bring your knee towards your right arm. Woo! Lower it down. Left leg goes back. Reconnect to your fingers. Don't let your fingers lose their strength. 3 hamstring curls. Curl that left leg, squeeze that left hamstring, take your knee, rotate it around towards your left shoulder. Let it come in, flat palms, downward facing dog. Bend your knees as you need. I'm going to use down dog to come back to our body's breathing. So a 3 breath pause here. You can always come to child's pose. You can always come to tabletop. So here's tabletop if you need it. Here's child's pose. So I'll demo those 2 in case you don't know what they are. Couple breaths. Then we come all the way on up to standing. So hands and feet walk together. We do that big good morning mountain stretch. Bring our arms down and we get a 3, 4, 5 breath standing meditation break. So coming back over and over, checking in. How you doing? What do you notice? Reminding yourself to practice with kindness, curiosity, feeling your breath. All right, grounding through your right leg. So it's unilateral leg work. You're going to put a little more weight in your right leg just to feel the right leg heavy, right? And pick up your left heel. Okay, now let's remind ourselves when we go into a little bit of balance and then to more bore balance, not more bore balance, you need your corset cummerbund on. Okay. You need your upper back like plank pose on. All right. So your upper back, your lower belly, abdominal, pelvis, and your midsection all need to connect. And then when that happens, your leg becomes easier to lift up. You're going to step your left leg all the way back. And then you're going to step your left leg back up, hike up your knee. Go as slow or fast as you want. Okay, it's not so much about how many you do, it's more about how you do it. So the quality of stepping back and hiking that knee up. We're just going to do one more. If you're going fast, pause, put your left foot back behind you. Lift your front hips up. Bring your hands up to your shoulders and just soften your shoulders, soften your throat, soften your gaze. Give yourself 3 breaths. Now you have to load that right leg, right? Load this right hip and step your left foot forward. Arms come down, heart rate's a little higher. That's a benefit of the practice. Only 3 breaths here. Shift your weight over into the left leg a little more. Connect upper back strength, midsection, Lower belly, pelvic, all the way through hamstring strength. Let your right leg float up. Step your right leg back. Okay. Lift your hip bones up. Great. You're going to step back up. Step back. Step back up. You can go faster if you're right. Want to swing your arms and go fast, go fast. You want to go slow, go slow. What works for you? We're all different. You do you. Next time you're in a lunge, you're going to take your right leg back. Cross your hands. Lift the front hips. Breathe. Load that left leg. Load that left hip. Step your feet together. Give yourself 5 breaths. Practice staying grounded with a fast heart rate and a fast breath. Exhale, sweep your arms out and up. Pull your hip creases back. If you need to bend your knees, do so. Forward fold. Step your feet back, downward facing dog. Exhale, bring your shins almost to the floor. Straighten them just one time back to down dog. Let your shins come all the way back down to the floor. Come up on your fingertips. Take your right leg back. Okay. Tabletop shape, nice and strong. Lift your right leg, 1 hamstring curl. Bring your right knee around to your right shoulder, lower it down. Right away, left leg goes back. Lift your left leg. Keep that corset cummerbund on really strong. Hamstring curl. Bring that left knee around to the left shoulder. Drop it down. Flat hands, downward facing dog. Give yourself 3 breaths. Now, keep your hip creases pushing back and lift your chest a little bit. See if you can feel a little bit of extension between your shoulder blades like a cow or a baby cobra. Look at your hands. With an exhale, hands and feet then start to walk together. Come all the way on up. Good morning. High 5 mountain stretch. Arms come down. You get 3, 4, or 5 breaths. We're going to take about 10 seconds. All right, you're going to load that right leg again. So it's that unilateral leg work again. Upper back, midsection, low belly, hips, legs on. Lift your left leg a little bit. You define a little bit. All right, you might take your knee way up. This might be your little bit. Left leg's going to step back. Left leg's going to step forward. Just 3 of these. We already did them. They might feel a little more familiar. This time you're going to bring that left leg forward and balance. And then it's going to externally rotate out to your tree shape. You can put that left foot on that right ankle or that right leg. I'm going to hang out. Let your arms maybe come down. A little higher. A little higher. Then just come back to your body, breathing. Softening your face. Try and soften your attitude. Maybe smile. And then put everything on the floor. Sweep your arms out and up. Fold forward. Come right back up with your breath. Bring your arms to your side. Pause for about 10 seconds. Back to your experience, back to breathing. Come back to your body. You practice noticing your present moment. What are you feeling? How's it going? Acknowledging being nice to yourself. Shift the weight over into the left side a little bit. Get your upper back, your midsection, and your low belly all on, and pick up your right leg. You decide how high you want to bring that right leg. Then you're going to step it back when you feel ready into your high lunge. Take a moment in your lunge. Get your grounding. Then you come back to your high lunge, step up. Go back. Next time you sweep your right leg up, little bit or low, you pick. I'm going to pause. Right leg rotates out to build your tree pose. Where's your foundation? How does your foundation feel here? Can you still be connected in your upper back midsection, low belly, hips, hamstrings? Maybe your arms come out or up. Maybe they don't. 3 breaths. And then both feet get to come to the floor, arms come down. Exhale, sweep your arms out right up, take a big stretch, fold forward, hands to the floor or a chair, step back, downward facing dog. Push those hip creases back, bend your knees. Now, little baby cobra feel, look up at your hands. Now, when you look up at your hands, pause and push your hip creases back again, 3 breaths. Feel your exhale and then step your hands and feet together. Big mountain stretch. Arms come down, 5 breaths to come back to your experience. You've been listening to me talk. Now is your opportunity to come back into your body, into your practice. Hang out, notice what you notice. And as you feel your next exhale, acknowledge that's an exhale. We're going to step your feet wide. Great. Left leg's going to roll in just a little bit. Right leg's going to roll out, go about heel to heel. Exhale, let your right knee bend. And then stretch your right arm up to the ceiling. So right thigh bone out in front of you there, let it feel really heavy. You might even put a little extra weight in your foot to try and feel the bottom of the right leg, feel your hamstring. And you're going to do 3 tips. You're going to tip at your hip like you're going to side angle. And then it's like, I don't want to do side angle. And you're going to come back up. Again, be a little curious, like, how's that feel today in your right hip? I have a really tight groin and whoo, right? What do you feel? Then your right arm's going to come down and you're going to bring your right hand in front of your right thigh bone. You know, do a little more challenging today. You're going to just push your right thigh bone out a little bit towards your pinky toe till you feel your right butt cheek on fire. Feel that hip? Woo! Left arm's going to come up. You're going to pull your arms apart, stretch. Right arm going to the floor, left arm reaching. 3 breaths. With your next exhale, knit those ribs. Feel those ribs draw down and back with the exhale. Keep your legs right where they are, warrior 2. Left hand comes on the back of the left hamstring. Right arm reaches up like your good morning mountain stretch. Reach up. One more time, side angle. Your version, maybe your elbow to your knee or your right arm is straight again. You get 3 breaths here to be quiet and feel the shape. Shoulders soften out of your ears. Eyes soften. Come all the way on up, straighten that right leg. Spin your toes, feet forward. Push your hip creases back, wide leg table, forward fold. Challenge yourself to bring the weight out into your toes. Right? Challenge yourself to feel like you're going to fold and fall forward, but you're not. Then let your head hang. And then push into your legs to come all the way back up. Woo. Right leg rolls in, left leg rolls out. Let your left knee bend. Sweep your arms out and up. Get curious. You're tipping and coming back up 3 times. How's this feel in your hip? Left hip this time. Tip it over and come back up. There you go. Next time you tip, take that left arm in front of that left thigh bone. Right arm can be up. Push that left thigh bone open a little bit. Feel that in that left hip. Pull your arms apart. Left arm going to the floor. Now exhale, pull your ribs down and in. Wide, long backs. 2 more breaths. Remember, you're going to warrior 2. Just stretch your arms. So right arm comes on that right thigh or hamstring. Reach up. Reach, reach, reach. One more time, side angle, your version. Come back up, straighten that left leg. Both toes face forward, wide leg table. So you can fold all the way over if you want. Let your head hang. Hands can go down either on your feet or in between your feet. So it would go foot, hand, head, hand, foot. Now push your upper thigh bones out a little bit. Now here, this sounds a little confusing. Let's see if we can figure it out in our bodies. It's like a puzzle. You're going to let your upper thigh bone push out and pull your feet in at the same time. So pull your feet in like you were on ice, and then find your upper thigh bone and push out. If you're thoroughly confused, that's good because that'll keep you working at it to solve the puzzle. Right? That's curiosity. It keeps us engaged in what's happening. Then lift your chest, little baby cobra feel. It's a yoga crawl. Hands go to the front, feet to the back. You get one more downward facing dog. And push your hip creases back, stretch out your low back. Bend your knees as much as you need. And then lower down to your knees. All right, walk your knees back a little bit. Okay, so you're down on table. Now, you're going to stretch your arms out in front of you and push your hip creases back to puppy pose. And let your chest get a little lower, lower, lower to the floor. Roll your arms out so your thumbs come up. Now with an exhale, pull your navel up so it's a little bit of feeling of like cat pose in your low back. And a big cobra, baby cobra cow in your mid back, okay? So you're in puppy pose, reaching your arms out. Your low back is protected and strong. Great. And there's some extension in your mid back. Then you can push all the way back to either child's pose if you want, or come to tabletop. And one more downward facing dog just to kind of even that out and get length through your back. I apologize. I know there's a couple of people in the room who have knee replacement surgery, and here I am putting you on tabletop a lot. Sorry, team. All right, we're going to come all the way back and have a nice, easy seat. So we'll just come and find crisscross applesauce. Sit in a chair if you're at home. Right? If this is really uncomfortable, just bring your knees out here. That's fine. Okay. All right, hands can go down on the floor. Soften your shoulders and your throat and your eyes. And we'll take 3 breaths. All right, so try to keep your belly button pretty much facing forward. It's probably going to move a little bit, but we're going to try to have the belly button as an anchor to keep it forward. Okay. Ribs, define your rib cage. Okay. You're going to find the left side of your ribs, and you're going to take the left side of your ribs all the way around to the right. Exhale, let your ribs draw down and back. Then find the right rib cage. Take your right rib cage all the way around to the left. 3 breaths. Left rib cage all the way around to the right. Left rib cage, or right rib cage, sorry, all the way around to the left. And then back to center. Bring your feet right out in front of you. Can make this as hard as you would like. Okay. So we're going to roll down. You could roll down with your feet on the floor and use your hands, use your legs like a ladder. You could bring your hands here. You could bring your legs up. Right? You could straighten your legs. You could do a little boat pose for a while. You make it as challenging as you want. I don't want any challenge. I'm going straight back. I've had enough challenge today, and I want to come on my back, but you do you. And then we're going to meet back on our backs. When you get there, take your knees up over your hips and push both legs up to the ceiling. If you're in a chair, just bring your legs out in front of you. Tip over, hamstring stretch. If you're on the floor, bring extra awareness to your tailbone. Try to keep your tailbone heavy, the back of your hips heavy. We're all going to take 3 breaths. And then we're going to bend your knees, bring your feet to the floor. Keep your feet on your mat. Just take your feet wide. And then windshield wiper your knees side to side. When you go over to the left, your right butt cheek will come up. When you windshield to the right, your left butt cheek will come up. You can imagine you are in water and you're pulling and pushing that water. All right, when your knees come back up to the ceiling, pause, take your arms up to the ceiling. If you're on the floor, and open them wide and let them come down. You're going to drop your knees to the right and look over to the left. You're going to drop your knees to the left and look over to the right and do about 3 more. If you're in a chair, you can sit on the corner of your chair and drop your knees and open your arms and mimic what we are doing. Wide legs. So try and keep your legs really wide. And then we'll coast back, knees back up to the ceiling. All right, if you're in the room or you're at home and you're on your back, bring your knees back up over your hips. Take your legs back up to hamstring stretch and reach up and grab what you can grab on your legs. Flex your feet. Your knees are going to bend towards your armpits, but keep your feet up to the ceiling. So when you bring your knees to your armpits, you're going to happy baby. Right? You want to keep your feet flexed, your ankles flexed, You might take your elbows inside your thigh bones and just help open the thigh bones a little bit. If you can't grab your ankles, just grab what's available. If you're at home, just hang out in your chair, find a nice, upright, easy shape. We're all going to take 5 breaths right here. All of us can feel our grounding into the earth. Maybe that's through your back body or your sit bones. All of us can practice taking one more long exhale. Then letting our feet come back down to the floor. Give yourself a full body stretch. We always take the last few moments in silence for self-care. We'll take the last few moments. We don't really have any more minutes. We'll take a few moments here in silence. You might do some stretching. You might come back to the earth as an anchor for grounding. We'll be nice and quiet. Give yourself 2 long exhales. You define long, gentle control of the breathing as you exhale. Then drawing your knees back into your chest. If you're on your back, you might rock a little bit side to side. Don't overthink it. Just roll over to the easiest side and come all the way on up. Arms reach out to come up. Give everyone a high five. Happy Friday. It's great to see everyone. Thanks for showing up again. Hopefully I'll see you on Tuesday. Thanks, everybody. Woohoo.